What is up, everybody? Welcome to another week of 8192 The Truth. How are you? Man, what a crazy weekend with those fights. I will tell you what, we will get into them much more on Friday. But my Lord, as an Ohioan, as a Clevelander, man, what a broken heart to see Stipe get knocked out in the first round. But can't say I'm surprised. DC did work his first time around in the heavyweight division. I mean, absolute work against some top-tier guys in their prime. So you couldn't expect a whole lot less than this from the guy. I mean, he came in, he was clearly well-fed. Yeah, we'll talk about that on Friday. But put on a performance, stepped back from the clinch. As he stepped back, man, he threw that right hook and boom, caught him cold on the chin. And that photo, that still photo that one of the ringside photographers got of Stipe on his back, out cold, and DC coming down at full force, the look of bloodlust in his eyes, fist cocked, ready to drill Stipe again. Man, that is a photo for the ages, and one that I will certainly be buying a copy of. Anyhow, guys, we get a little bit of an episode today. Joel's got some things to say, so sit back and get prepared for that. But once again, guys, the show is brought to you by Cernier Fit and the Dolce Diet. There is still time left in the summer for you to get your summer beach body. Whether you want the 3 weeks to shred, dropping 21 pounds in 21 days, or whether you want the slow burn of the 8-week living lean, the Dolce Diet is where it's at. At only $99 before the discount for the 3 weeks to shred, you are not going to find a better deal anywhere in the industry of nutrition, especially on an online platform that provides you everything. Meal plans, recipes, shopping lists, workouts, workout videos breaking down each and every lift, showing you the proper cadence, the proper motion, everything. Get 10% off by using the code CERNIER10 at checkout. 10% off of the $99. I think you can get both the 8-week living lean and the 3 weeks to shred for $149 total. Then take 10% off of that at checkout with the code CERNIER10. Get yourself on track to a better body, a healthier lifestyle, and increase your longevity. I know we've all got people out there that we care about, people that we love, people that we want to stay around here for a very, very long time. The Dolce Diet is based on whole earth grain foods, filling foods. You're still going to eat 2,000 plus calories a day. You're going to be full. You're going to be well fed. The foods are tasty, and you are going to lose weight every single day. Trust me, results are guaranteed. You've got the Cernier Fit 100% money back guarantee. So go to thedolcediet.com, thedolcediet.com. Use the code CERNIER10 at checkout. Save yourself 10%. Boom! That's where it's at. Now on to the show.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of 8192 The Truth. I am Joel D. Supernaw for my silent partner today, Kevin Brotherson Cernier. Welcome to the show. So, I have been speaking lately about detaching myself from social media, and I'm doing a pretty good job. I'm doing a pretty good job of it. Not going on very often, not posting almost nothing. I'm detaching myself from it. I would like to get to a place where it's my Sunday paper, where I check into my Facebook on Sunday, I look at it for 30 minutes, make some notes, and move on to the rest of my week. I think that's where I'm wanting to go. So I'm doing a pretty good job of it. I don't have it attached to everything. It's not following me around. Well, the messenger, the Facebook has a message messenger thing, and I'm not really good at all this stuff, but apparently anyone who's ever sent me a message, or anyone I've ever sent a message, can be slammed in one felt swoop with a bunch of different emails. So yesterday, I don't know what I'm doing. It's my day off, doing something with Lad. I get a message from Trisha Couture, Randy Couture's ex-wife, someone I consider a friend, love her son, Caden, and she says, I hope you didn't mean to send this to me. This is disgusting. And what it was a very, very vulgar and disgusting video that at some time one of the fans of the show, I will not out him, had sent that to me, and it was somewhere in my messages. Then there was another one that somebody sent me a couple weeks ago. Now, I don't know how to delete messages. I don't know if this would have mattered or not, but yesterday somebody had hacked into my Facebook account, changed the language, and sent these disgusting videos to every single person in my messenger. You got to imagine, I got 2,200 friends. I don't know most of them, but some of them I do know. My high school wrestling coach, my high school football coach, my buddy Richard Paraday, who is recovering from a brain injury, and his dad. I mean, every single person that I have on that list was slammed with two of the most disgusting videos you could imagine. So what is the learning point there? Well, the learning point there, I think, is a couple things. Man, make sure that you log out of every social media thing you ever go on. And, for me, I've got to figure out a way to delete every single message so that doesn't ever happen again. I mean, that I was just so embarrassed. Oh, my goodness, I was just so embarrassed by that. So anyway, I got Facebooked, but I'm in a great mood today. I am in a fantastic mood today. Have you been following the Thai soccer team that has been stranded in a cave in Thailand for the last 15 days? Might be 17 days by now. I'm going to be honest with you. I heard about this when it happened, that these kids went missing. I wasn't really paying much attention to the news. And the reason I wasn't paying much attention to the news is because when I came back from Kansas City in February, I got into a habit of watching CNN and MSNBC and the nonstop narrative. I don't want to say fake news. It's news. It is what it is. But it's very taxing on me. When I realized this isn't doing anything for me, I got away from it. And you cannot put CNN on or MSNBC on and not be inundated with that. Television is so bad right now. Man, there's 4 or 5 channels I go to. So anyway, got away from it, but I heard about it, whether it was through the internet or not, and these kids between 11 and 16 years old, 12 of them, and their coach, 25-year-old coach. First off, they are stranded in a cave for 9 days. 9 days. 9 days. How many days, Joel? 9. 9 days without any communication to the outside world, without any knowledge of is anyone going to come and get him or not? Amazing. That first off, that they don't quit, that the rescue, that the search party doesn't quit. Monsoons going on, floods going on. They find him after 9 days. So I hear that and I'm like, okay, cool. They got him. I'm not paying attention to the news. Figured those boys are out. 3 or 4 days go by. I find out they're still in the cave. Now my father element pokes, my emotional side of being a father of a 15-year-old boy rears its head, and I'm scared for these kids. I'm now immediately connected to this story, connected in a way that I can't read about it. I'm like, it bothered me so much that I would just check every now and then on it. I couldn't get into it like I did coming up. So a couple days go by, and a diver, a Navy SEAL, a Thailand Navy SEAL diver, dies preparing the escape. So I'm like, wow. And the governor or the president, whatever you call in Thailand, he says, we've got to go now. We've got these storms coming. We have to go now. And they go in and they get 4 boys out. Now I'm pumped, but then now I learned some more things about this. That the trek is 2.5 miles. It takes 11 hours to do, 6 hours one way, 5 hours the next. These kids have no idea what they're doing. You imagine how weak they are. These children that have never, many of them don't even know how to swim, need to dive, need to go under the water with these expert divers for 11 football fields. 11 football fields. So now I'm like, oh man, please. And they can't, so they get 4 of them out. They can't go back for another 20 hours. They get 4 more out. They can't go back for another 12 hours as they get everything set together. And today they got them all out. Amazing. Dig into that. Think about what we can do if those kids could do that. Think about how strong that coach had to be to hold that team together. Some of these kids were 11 and 12 years old. It wasn't like they were coming up with an idea of how are we going to survive. Who did it? The coach. There will be stories coming out of this about that coach. And I guarantee you, his leadership was heroic. The kids weren't, telling him, hey, let's do this, let's do that, let's stay together. 9 days. They were in that cave for 9 days before anybody ever found them. How much food did they have? They were going out searching. I mean, all they could have had was a couple candy bars. So they probably didn't eat for 8 days. They had to drink cave water just to stay alive. The will to live, when all options are taken away from you, is amazing. There has to be a way we can become better people through that. There has to be a way that I can use that to become a better person. My lifelong friend, Richard Paraday, talked about him a couple times. He's a miracle. He's 2 weeks away from getting out from the hospital. He's speaking coherently. He's getting his memory back. He's getting all his faculties back. There's a really good chance he's going to make a full recovery. On death's door 6 weeks ago. Good job, Richard. Good job. Amazing. So I want you to think about that. I want you to think, because I am, not how I can become a better person in 90 days or 100 days through exercise and nutrition, or whatever program you may want to go on. How you can become a better person today through somebody else's heroism. I'm really going to try to do that today. I try to feed off of somebody else and become a better person today. Can't change nothing tomorrow, nothing yesterday. Today is my only day I got. So I'm going to my morning coffee with my buddy Matty. And he is a band guy. Used to be a Deadhead guy. He's really into music and festivals, and he goes on several of these festivals a year where he spends 2 days out, having a good time, partying, drinking and listening to bands and having a good time. Does that several times a year. Successful businessman, great father, great husband. And I asked him, I'm like, Matty, who would you be if you never got married and you never had any kids? And we started going down that line for him of who he would be. You think about that. The ones of you that are married and have children and understand that's a fork in a road that never goes the other way. I personally, if I never met Jennifer, if I never got married and had a child, where do I think I'd be? Probably in Kansas City, Missouri, or Kansas City, Kansas. No, God, not Kansas City, Missouri. Probably in Kansas City. I don't think I would have ever came back out to Oregon. I think I would have continued. I would either be working in a gym in some capacity or working construction. Both things that I did prior to meeting Jennifer. And I know I wouldn't have been any better. I don't think I would have been any better. That's for sure. I would have never met Ladd. It's something to think about. Sometimes some of us spend time thinking about what we would do if we won the lottery. That's the lottery. You get a lottery ticket, and sometimes for me, it's nice to sit back and think, okay, what will I do if I have $100 million or $50 million or something? Think about who you would be. Who would you be if you weren't you? I think that I would be a construction worker in Kansas City, Kansas. I do believe that's what I would be doing. Oh boy, it would be hot today. It would be hot today. So, the reason I'm not talking about the UFC event from last weekend is because it's because of Friday's show. I want to talk about those things with Kevin. Maybe talk about those things with the fans. Remember, guys, go to Kevin Surnear, Surnear, or find him through one of the social media platforms, and let him know you got a point. You got something you want to talk about. Now, Brian Little came on hot. He did a great job. I thank you, Brian, for it. He came on hot thinking that I was trying to recreate the Jim Rome show, and I'm not. I want you guys to come on and ask me a question or tell me what's going on. What do you think about anything? Have a point to make it. We'll kick the ball back and forth a little bit, and we'll move on to the next guy. This is the direction I believe I would like to take the Friday show. It's a very fan-friendly podcast. Eventually, I'd like to get back to where we started at. When I started with in August of last year on the stage doing a live show. That's where I would like to get back to every Friday with the fan interaction through Facebook or through whatever. That's where I eventually want this thing to get back to. So anyway, get a hold of Kevin Cernier at yahoo.com. Now, mentioning Kevin, and we had Scott Davenport on the show. Scott is a friend of mine. Me and Lad nicknamed him Tong Po from, or the original Nicky Bone, Mike Nicky Buon. We started talking about some character in some kick fighting movie, and his name was Tong Po. I think he was in a the Van Damme movie. Anyway, so Tong Po and Brother Sin have decided to fight. They're going to fight. We're going to arrange this sometime before the end of the year. Scott has to get down to 235 pounds because it's not fair to Kevin to not give up an experience factor, but also give up a bunch of weight. He needs, because Kevin could probably be a solid 215, 218 in full training mode. Tong Po 235. I mean, he's really a 205 pounder. So anyway, they have been going back and forth, making these videos back and forth to each other and texting them to me, and we have to get them up on a website because they're beautiful. They are beautiful. It's rich man versus poor man. And just to let you know, right now, the leader in the clubhouse, according to Miss H, is Tong Po. Tong Po did a skit where he called Brother Sin the $1 Million Mermaid, and she just popped for the $1 Million Mermaid. Now, Brother Sin did a bit where he said Tong Po must mean dirt poor. And he did a whole rant. And so, guys, keep those videos going. Somebody out there, make us a website. Let's figure out how to get a website so we can get those, so you guys can watch those. Those are beautiful. Those are beautiful. I will cover a little bit, a very small bit of the UFC. I'll go down and throw out some talking points. First off, every underdog lost on the main card. No. Sorry. Every underdog won on the main card. And, again, previously I told Chael, hey, Romero's going to miss weight. He texts me back, what a fool I am, and blah, blah, blah. Romero misses weight. He has to apologize to me. I picked Lewis. Near the end, I'm like, hey, Chael, let's put some money on Lewis and Daniel. And he's like, Lewis sucks. Well, he was wrong. Again. But he did do something very respectable. He apologized for it. Instead of saying, yeah, Lewis does suck, and that fight sucked, he ate it. He wore it. He said, hey, you're right. Lewis won, man. Good job. Good pick. I don't know how on God's green earth 2 judges gave Francis Ngannou a round. Now, remember, this is an athletic competition. Don't be higher than you are. Don't be more than you are. You are a fan and I am a fan, and this is an athletic competition. Unless it's a draw, unless the round is a draw, somebody must be rewarded the round. It was clear to anybody that watched who attempted, it doesn't really mean landed, I mean he did land more, who attempted more in each and every round. Clearly, if you have to pick a winner in each and every round, clearly it's Derek Lewis. So the fact that 2 judges were trying to steal the fight from Derek Lewis and give it to Francis Ngannou, that's a big problem. That's a huge problem. Because if you watch that fight and you scored any round for Francis Ngannou, you should not be able to be a judge at a UFC card on a UFC co-main event. One of the callers last week, Nate, was talking about judging, and I kind of laid out and said, hey, you know what? The judging is what it is. It's gotten better, and you know, let's let the fighters know in between rounds who's winning that, who just won that round. But there needs to be some questions to these judges. I want to know how do you give somebody a round who doesn't throw a punch? Did you give him the first round, or the second round, or the third round? I want to know. And how did you do that? How did you come to the conclusion that the guy that did nothing the entire fight? Now, Derek Lewis didn't do much more, but he definitely did more. Clearly, he did more. So we say that this is the most boring fight in the history of fights, and this, that, and the other, and all of that. I think we look at it as a learning experience for the judges. If you score a round for Francis Ngannou, you lose your credentials. That is clearly, without doubt, a clear-cut 100% victory for Derek Lewis. Did he do much? No, not much. But he did more than nothing. If me and you go work for 8 hours and our job is to unload a pallet of bricks, our job in 8 hours is to unload a pallet of bricks. And in 8 hours, I get 11 bricks off of the pallet. And in 8 hours, you get 3 bricks off of the pallet. When the boss comes home, when the boss comes back, and he can only keep one of us based on our work, 100% of the time, he's going to pick the guy that unloaded 8 bricks. Has to keep one of them. That was part of the rule. You guys unload the pallet of bricks, and I'm going to keep whoever unloads the most bricks. You can even break it down. I unloaded 3 bricks in the first 3 hours. You did 1. I unloaded 5 bricks in the second 3 hours. You did 2. Last 2 hours, you did 1. I did 2. I clearly won every single portion of that. You cannot be a judge if you called that fight for Francis Ngannou. Now, Francis Ngannou, he comes out and wears it. He was a product. That's a very talented fighter there. That's a very athletic and very talented fighter there. Let's not question that. But he comes out afterwards, you know, Dana White's mad at him because Dana White broke down with him at one time. Dana White said, let's put the hype machine behind him. Dana White said, let's invest in this guy. This guy's going to be the next big thing. While Dana did that, Francis appeared to only did half of the work. When he's training for his fight with Stipe, he's out there at the Performance Center, and everything's going well. The hype machine's behind him. He decides he's got this one in the bag. He's basically going to quit training and goes out and lays an egg against Stipe. Stipe dominates him. He comes back, pretty short order. Hadn't been 6 months. Hadn't been 6 months since they fought. That's not a lot of time. You know, heavyweights in boxing usually fight one time a year, one time every 9 months. I'm gonna circle back to that and how that makes a point, any point. But anyway, Francis Ngannou comes back, changes some things, gets in really, really good shape, and he goes out and lays an egg. And now the world is coming down on him. Coming down on him. If you think the world is coming down on Francis Ngannou after losing 2 in a row, after having one of the biggest hype trains ever behind him, you don't have to look any further to how fast you lose your shine than Stipe. Stipe lost that fight, and they didn't even interview him afterwards. Now they're not even talking about giving him a rematch. So I'm going to circle back to that in a second, but I want to make that point that, man, it's all about what have you done for me lately. But Francis Ngannou comes out and says, I laid an egg. And the reason I laid an egg isn't because of my ego. It's because I was scared. He admitted it. He admitted it. Now, there's fighters that are scared all of the time. There's fighters that quit. Absolutely quit. There was a fighter on the main card that clearly quit during his fight. Clearly quit during his fight. I want you to tell me who that was. Nobody talks about that because not everybody can see that. You guys are fans and you know everything. I get that. The reporters, they they're so bad. The reporters are so bad. Oh my goodness. When Ariel is the best reporter out there and all he does is talk about he said, she said, has no idea how to break down a fight, has no idea what's actually happening in a fight, and he's the best out there, well, you got problems. But anyway, let me stay on my point and not be so non-sequential, as one of the fans said I was the champion of being non-sequential. I think I actually figured out what that was, and it's actually what I'm doing right now. Sorry, I'm having my morning coffee. All right, so we have Francis Ngannou come out and say, man, I'm scared. I am scared. Man, that's a big deal. Good for him. Good for him. So many fighters in this sport lose, whether it's a knockout or a grinding loss, where they just take a beating like Pettis did against Alvarez, and they never recover. Like Pedro Hizzo did against Randy Couture, like Gabriel Gonzaga did against Randy Couture, and they never recover from it. There's way more than that. I always talk about how tough it is to make it to the top twice. Well, that's because at one point on your ascent to the top, somebody obliterated your confidence. Somebody beat your ass. You hear the Diaz brothers talk, and you hear some of the fighters talk about they never lose. I never lost that fight. There's two reasons they do that. The main reason they do it is because they, somewhere in their head, they believe it. I won all those matches. I should have won those matches. The second thing is confidence. You lose your confidence, you're a shot fighter. Francis lost his confidence. In the meantime, he's scared to be in there. He is scared to be in there. In hindsight, had Lewis been physically able to press that fight, and I do not believe he was. I believe that Derek Lewis fought the last 13, 12 minutes of that fight on a back that would have put anybody down. And it's amazing what those fighters do. But in hindsight, had he known how scared Francis was, he would have just attacked him and put him out. He wouldn't have been able to, if he would have just attacked him with that kind of fear, would Francis have been able to fight through it? And maybe that's how he gets out of it. Maybe that he has admitted he has a fault, and good for you, Francis. Good for you. Way to wear it. And you don't owe us anything. That's why I get back to the social media. I do owe an apology to people that I sent a filthy, disgusting message to. Okay? Whether it was hacked in or not, it went to them and it had my name on it. 2,200 people. I owe them an apology. Francis, you do not owe me an apology. Daniel Cormier, you do not need to respond to people that don't agree with you 100% of the time. The world we live in is ridiculous. We have to speak to people we don't even know. It doesn't make any sense. We are spending too much time living through a ghost. We don't know these people. Facebook, Twitter, this person said that person said that. From me to you to Daniel Cormier, talking to the fans because somebody tweeted something that he didn't like. It's a waste of time, people. It's a waste of time. That's all I have for you today. I'm going to go out and be the best person I can be today. I'm going to try to be really, really positive today, because that's the only thing I control is my attitude. I will talk to you guys on Friday. We will have a guest to open the show with me, and then we will have some callers and Brother Sin. I do not know who that guest is. Maybe it'll be Randy. He usually comes through for me. We'll have somebody to open the show with me. See you guys on Friday. Peace.
Well, there you have it, folks. That was the Godfather giving you his take on a whole litany of things that didn't involve talking to me. So there you go. Just a reminder, we are still sponsored by Amazon. July 16th is Amazon Prime Day. It's like their own special Black Friday in the middle of the summer. They have it every year. They have got a whole multitude of fantastic deals on nearly every type of product that they offer. If you want to save money on something you've been eyeing, check Prime Day deals. And when you go to shop and purchase those deals, go through our Facebook link. All it does is kick back a few pennies our way, lets us know that you like the show, that you support us. And again, you make a nice purchase, send me a message, let us know what it is, and we'll give you a nice little shout out on the show. But again, July 16th is Amazon Prime Day. Go through the Amazon link on our Facebook page, do your shopping, make your purchases with substantial savings, and then let us know what you bought. We would certainly appreciate it. And like I said at the beginning of the show, don't forget about thedolcediet.com. Use the code CERNIER10 at checkout. Save yourself 10%. That's where healthy living starts and where healthy living ends. Boom. We're out.